Hello everybody, welcome to the presentation. So the first one that I'm using, or that I'm going to show you, is called Flippity. Yep, cool. Okay, so what is Flippity? Flippity is all based around Google spreadsheets, and I really like this little icon. It basically has a Google spreadsheet leading to happy people. Saying that something is based on Google spreadsheets probably doesn't sound that promising. But I think it's magic. It's so clever because they're really easy to use. They give you all of the step-by-step instructions, and there's all kinds of different things that you can make. And I'm going to show you 3 of them, hopefully, and go through a kind of step-by-step process of making something. And I'll talk about some ways that you could use it with your students. So the first one that I'm going to show you is the Flippity timeline. So as you can see, I think somebody's got their sound on. I'm not sure who it is. As you can see, every one of the Flippity tools has underneath demo and instructions. So I'll click on the demo first, which I always recommend that you do. And that will show you an example of this thing in action. So timeline, as you might imagine, is a timeline. And you can collapse it, so all of the events come together. You can expand it in this way or in this way, so you can see all of the information. And as you can see, this one, for example, has a slideshow embedded in it, has photos. It also, I think it has links. Yeah, there's like a video in there, for example. So you can put all kinds of different content in there. And this is just an example. So I might show this to the students first, or I might have my own particular example. And you can see that if there is an image credit, for example, that will be put in there automatically. So all of this is done through the magic of a Google spreadsheet. Okay, so it all looks nice and fancy. So I would probably get the students to create their own timelines. So this is what I would do, or this is how you create a timeline. So when you go to the home page and click on instructions, it tells you very nicely step-by-step instructions, and then it has some frequently asked questions down here as well, so like typical problems that people have. So sorry, I've just realized that's very, very small. Is it big enough for people? Hopefully. I don't know. I can't see. You have to react at the moment because I can only see a couple of people. Is that big enough for you, or would you like me to make it bigger?
A bit bigger, please.
A bit bigger. Yep,
yes,
that's fine.
Thanks.
That can definitely be done. Is that better?
Yes, lovely.
Yes, cool. Yeah, please feel free to tell me that on any of these sites, and if I can, I'll make it bigger. That's the danger with not having slides. So the first thing that it asks you to do is make a copy of the template. The template will be saved automatically in a Google account. So you do need to have a Google account to use Flippity. So I will click on this, and then I will say make a copy. And hopefully what you can see now, again, if I make it bigger, is actually the spreadsheet that was behind the example that you saw before. So you can see that it's got the years, the months, the dates. It's got the headlines, so that's what you see when it's all collapsed. And then it's got the text, which is optional. You don't have to have that. You can put colors in there. So, oh, sorry, it'd probably help if I had the demo open at the same time. Let me just open the demo as well. So you can see that some of them are red, for example, or if I scroll down, you can see that some of them are blue dots. So these ones are red. You can put basic colors in there like that, or you can use hexadecimal coding, or you can use simple color coding like this. Doesn't matter if you don't know these, you can just stick to colors. You can write red, blue, orange, but that's what the color column means. Media is if you want to add an image or you want to add a video. You have to upload it as a link. So if it's a photo, for example, it must have .jpeg or .png at the end. You can't put the photo or whatever directly into here. It has to be a link to another page. And you can't save it in Drive. It has to be like publicly available on the web somewhere. And then you can put in here whatever credit you want to write. If you want to take a link somewhere, you can have that. Okay, so that's, and you don't have to have everything filled in at all. The minimum that you have to have, though, you have to have a year and you have to have a headline. Apart from that, it doesn't matter. If you have more than one thing in a year, or if you put the years in the wrong order, it will automatically put them in the right order. So you don't have to worry. You know, you could write 1963 and then 1954 and then 1984 and then go, oh, I want to go back to 1961, and it will just put them all in order for you. So if I'm producing something like this, probably what I will do first is delete most of the data, but I probably wouldn't delete all of it. So I would leave a little bit of it to help me remember what's on there. So for example, I might decide that I want to create a professional profile. Let's link back to what Abia was saying. So I might say that, for example, started teaching, and then I can say moved to Brno, Czech Republic. And then maybe I will add a photo, so I can find Brno photos, Creative Commons, because I want to be legal when I'm doing this. And I can find a photo, and I can choose, for example, this photo. And I can make sure that I've got JPEG at the end of it, and hopefully when I copy that link, it will be fine. And I can put an image credit in here, for example, image credit Wikipedia. I could say, started my blog, and then I could just put a link in here. What else? I don't know. Let's do today. Oops, that's not the correct year. And then I could do this presentation. Teaching has presents. And then maybe I want it to be orange. I don't know. So I have these things at the top so that I remember what goes into each space, and I add my content to it. And you can see that's all you need to do. That's all the students need to do. And then I will delete the rows. Sorry. Then I'll delete the rows from the original, from the example, and just leave my data there. So the next thing that I need to do, have my information in there. I need to go back to the instructions because I've modified the template. I've followed these instructions. It is very important that you don't edit a cell with a blue background. If you edit any of these cells, it won't work. It uses those cells to create the data, to create the, to know where to put everything. Then it tells me to publish the spreadsheet. Okay, so I go File, Share, Publish to the web. And File, Share, Publish to the web. If you can't keep up, don't worry, you can watch the video later, or all the instructions are in my blog post. And then I click Publish, and then I say, okay, now I have a nice link. And if I copy that link, I'm going to stop sharing, I'm going to paste it in the chat. And as if by magic, hopefully, you will see, you go into that, you will hopefully see the timeline that I have just created. I will find out shortly. Give me a thumbs up if you can see my nice professional development timeline. Oh, I can hear somebody's music. Oh, you can see the spreadsheet. That's interesting. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I missed one key step. Yep. Thanks for pointing that out to me. I did miss one key step. I shouldn't share that. I shouldn't share that link with you. That's the wrong link. Well spotted. Don't share that link. Then you come back to sorry. Then you come back to the spreadsheet and you go to the little button at the bottom that says "Get the link here," and then this is the link that you share. It's not the one to the spreadsheet. I'm really sorry. So let's try that game again. Here you go. Now click on that link and hopefully you'll see my timeline this time round. Well, I'm sure that was a mistake that you will have made at some point anyway. So hopefully I've prevented you from making that mistake. So hopefully you can see my beautiful timeline. So I would use this with the students. I would use it as a project thing to get them to make it. I think it's really motivating, really fun. They could create a class profile. So Jill Hadfield, for example, in Classroom Dynamics, she recommends creating a class profile and helping the students to see how their lives intersect with each other as a way of building classroom dynamics. You can get students to, if they're reading a text, for example, they could put all of the events in order. Miriam says the students need to be quite tech savvy. They do if they're going to do the more advanced things like put pictures in. But actually, for the really basic bit, what I recommend is that you create the spreadsheets first and you do the publish to the web part, because now any edits that I make, it will update automatically. So let me just make an edit to my spreadsheet and go, I don't know, 2015 Bidgosh started as a DOS. And hopefully, if you look at your timeline now, you should see that straight away. It may be that the picture of Bruno isn't there because I wasn't very careful about picking a good picture file. You might want to be a bit more careful. Somebody asked if you can use your own pictures. You can, but you need to have them on the internet first somewhere. So I might put them as files on my blog that aren't publicly visible. Yeah, so that is a little bit fiddly. That's one of the frequently asked questions on the instructions page, is how you can do the images. But I think if you do this with your students, say you know already that there's going to be 6 groups, so you make 6 spreadsheets and you name them group 1, group 2, group 3, whatever. You do the whole publish to the web bit, and the only thing the students then need to do is actually put the information in there. And they need to be able to click on a cell and type in it, and that's the minimum that they need to be able to do it, I think. Romilla, try refreshing the link. I don't know if that will work or not. Let me see. Oh, you're right. Ooh. What happens if I do that? That's interesting. When I tested it yesterday, that was fine. Maybe I just need to publish it again. Okay, well, so at the end, you'll have to tell the students to publish it again. It does say automatically republish when changes are made. Is it a new link? Let me just see if the link has changed. See, this is what happens when you rely on this kind of tool like this. I don't know if that link is the same or different as the one you had before. I think it's the same. That's so odd. I wonder why I haven't got 2015 in there. I don't actually know why that has happened. I recommend you go and play with it and figure out what's going on, because I can't actually solve that problem right now. I'll try and figure it out and add it to my blog if possible. But anyway, that's one of the things that you can do with Flippity. Just because I'm aware that I've already spent about 15 minutes on this one, I'm going to show you some of the other Flippity things. But that's the basic premise of whatever you do. You go in, you follow the instructions on there, and when you go into the instructions, it gives you a Google spreadsheet template. Some of them, however, there is actually a simpler version. So for example, with the randomizer, if I go into the demo for the randomizer, I've got 4 different spinny things, like a slot machine. So I can click this and I can spin all of them, get a random selection, or I can spin any one. And I don't know if you can see at the top, it tells you what the results are. Or instead of spinning, I can just move through them one at a time. So I have a lot of control over the whole thing. And I've got who, what, when, where. So obviously this, for example, this could be used for storytelling, it could be used for idea generation, it could be used to practice particular grammar points. When I look at the instructions, I have 2 options here. I have quick and easy, which will just give me a single, that will give me just a single spinner. So that's a very easy, simple one. But if you want more than one column, then you can't use the quick and easy option in the instructions. You have to go down to option 2 and modify the template. And the templates, using the template, you can actually have up to 10 columns. So this here is exactly what was in the demo, but you can have up to 10 columns in there. So again, you could create it, the students could create it, you could create a little bit of it and the students could call out more ideas to populate it. I've used this with beginners actually to practice daily routine. So in column 1, we had like I, you, we, they. In column 2, I had daily routine verbs like have a shower, brush my teeth. And then in column 3, I had times like at 3 o'clock, at 7 o'clock, at whatever. And then in column 4, I had a plus, a minus, and a question mark. And they had to like spin the wheel and then create either a positive sentence or a negative sentence or a question. And if it was a question, then somebody else in the group had to answer it. And my absolute beginners who were 10 to 12 years old, like I created it and then they played with it in breakout rooms on Zoom successfully once I demonstrated it to them. So you can use it for drilling, for example. Yeah, so that's a couple of things you can do with the randomizer. And then the last one I'm going to show you is the random name picker. And that one actually only has a quick and easy version. There's no spreadsheet for that, but all you need is the list of the names of students in your class. And I actually make one of these when I start off with any group of students, and I just bookmark it and then I use it again and again all the way through the lessons. And when you generate it, you get this amazing like set of different ways of picking names. So I've got a spinner to just nominate somebody at random. I can pick a single name. I can see groups of 4 or 4 teams, 3 teams, 5 teams. I can see a seating chart. And I can say, you know, this is how many rows, this is how many columns. Slightly old-fashioned because it's a very grid pattern, but still. And I can, you know, I can choose different options that I want to have in there. So I could say, for example, I want to have groups of 10. Or I could say that I want to have, I don't know, speed networking. So it just puts them all in pairs. Rather than groups of 2. You know, there's slightly different options. Again, I recommend you just play with it. I don't remember what the jigsaw does. Oh yeah. So if they're in pairs, then when I press jigsaw, it automatically puts all of the A's in one group and all of the B's in the other, and you don't have to think about it because it does it all for you. The same thing here, you know, I've got Catherine, Spencer, and Kate, and then I can see Catherine, Spencer, and Kate are in a single group. It's magic. So that is the random name picker on Flippity. And yeah. And that's just has a quick and easy option. And just to take you back to see all of them again, I know it's quite small, but you've got flashcards, you've got a quiz show Jeopardy like thing that again is very easy to create and personalize. All the instructions are there. You have a virtual breakout room, which I haven't tried at all. There's a board game, there's click and drag, matching. Some of them are maybe less relevant, like tic-tac-toe, but you might want to do something like that. Bingo, badge tracker, which I think could be quite nice for like learner autonomy or homework. You know, if you've done things at home. I'll just show you the demo for that one as well, actually, because I quite like that. You know, these are all the badges that are available that the teacher has created. And any student, you can see which badges they've got. Some of them have got stars on them. You know, or Tim's got this. And you can also have, you can have it so that it's password protected. Yeah, can I protect them? So here's a demo. So you can make it so that the student has to put a pin in, and you give them the pin. So only that student and that parent can see which badges they've earned. And so if there's a padlock next to it, then it's password protected. And if there isn't, then anybody can see which ones they've got. So that might be, as I say, that might be useful for maybe for learner autonomy, for example. There is a leaderboard, spelling, word search, crossword, snowman, hangman. There are a few different ones there. Progress indicator. So this one shows you, like, for example, pages, miles, books, some kind of progress that they're going through some project that you're doing. Word clouds, Mad Libs, tournament brackets, self-assessment. There's all kinds of things on there. My recommendation is go and have a play and see what happens. You won't break it either, because you can just make a new template. And just to show you in my drive, please ignore the mess in the rest of my drive, but in my drive, you can see here I've got the copies of the templates. They're just saved in my drive. I won't leave it on there for too long because you don't need to see everything that's in my drive. But that is Flippity. That is the first thing that I'm going to show you today. Has anybody got any immediate questions about Flippity? Yeah, Meta Online, the example headlines with beginners, I had pronouns in the first column. For the randomizer, I had pronouns, so like I, you, he, she, it. In the second column, I had daily routine verbs, so have a shower, brush my teeth, whatever. In the third column, I had times, and in the fourth column, I had plus, minus, question mark. So to say whether they had to make a positive or a negative or a question. Flippity is entirely free. Everything that I'm showing you today is available entirely free. Although Quizlet, the last one, does have a paid option. And I have a paid account, but you can still use a lot of the functionality for free. Any other questions about Flippity? Right, I'm going to move on swiftly because I'm aware that I've already had half an hour. I've lost all the things. Just bear with me 1 minute. I did have it all open, and then I've opened so many things since then that I've lost all the things. Right, so Zoom is here. Screen share. Oops. So the second one that I will show you, yeah, Hannah, because it's a link, as many people as want to can use it. So it can be online. Everybody can use it at the same time, because it's a link, so it's like any other web page. So all of them can do it at the same time. It's only if they want to make templates that you might, or edit templates that you might want to make things yourself. But if you're creating something you want them to use, like the randomizer, then you just need a link the same as you would with any other website. Okay, so similar principle, different tool. This is Learning Apps. So learningapps.org. Generally, if you just Google it, you will end up on the page that says Browse Apps. The first thing I will say to you is this is pretty fiddly on a phone. Like, it does work on a phone, but it's quite tiny and it's a bit fiddly. But I think if you know that students have computer access, or if you're going to screen share something, or if you want to like show them something in class, I think this is quite a nice thing to play around with. One thing that I like about it is actually that it's available in lots of different languages. So you've got German, English, Spanish, French, Italian, and Russian. So if I just click on French, for example, everything is translated. Like all of the instructions and everything are translated. So this is also a website that you can just tell the students about, and they can go off and find resources. They're occasionally of mixed quality because they're all made by like random people, but if you can also recommend particular resources. So I can look in English as a foreign language, and I can choose something that I would like the students to do. So for example, I might want them to do matching pairs with toys. Now this has the instructions in Greek, which isn't necessarily very helpful, but they will listen to the audio and then find the toy that it matches to. If they can't hear the audio, they can hover over it like this, and then they can find the boat, which I can't currently. There it is, and it will disappear. Or they can do it the other way around. Got a train. I'm going to put it on the wrong one, and you can see that they get that immediate feedback. So they can go off and find apps. They're all called apps in here, but that's not what we're here for. We're here for the authoring side of it, the creation side. So you might want to do a tutorial first. As I say, you generally end up on this page when you first come to it. So to find the tutorial, you click on learningapps.org. And then you've got a little mini tutorial here, but you won't need one because I'm going to show you how to do it. So you can click create app, and then you think about what it is you want them to actually do. So for example, I may decide that I want to, what do I want them to do? I want to have a number line, okay? Whatever you pick, it always shows you 3 examples of that game in action. So you can get some inspiration and see what it can actually be used. So you've got French numbers in ascending order with the audio. I've got birds in Romanian. I'm not entirely sure what you have to do with that. And then I've got days of the week. So I can test it out and see, you know, where they're supposed to be. I'm not thinking about this, by the way. I'm just putting them on there in random. And if I decide that that's what I want to do, then I click create new app. If I want to see some more examples, I can press the 3 dots, and I can see those 3 examples, but I can also then see lots of other examples. So I'll click create new app, and then it's a very simple template. So here, I don't know, I'm just going to do this morning. Oh, sorry, I can do it in the right order. You do need to log in for it to be able to save. So I'm just going to log in to it because otherwise it will lose this in a minute. So this morning, what happened today? And I can say what my numbers are going to be on my line, because it is a number line. So I'm going to say my minimum is 7 and my maximum is 10. I'm being lazy, so I want text, and I want text. So I want 2 values. So I'm going to have my first bit is text, and I'm going to say breakfast, and that was at 7.5. I don't have 7:30. Sorry, this doesn't quite work. And then I will have wake up, and that will be at 7. And then I will have start work, and that, oops, wrong way around, start work, and that will be at 9. And I can give the students a hint. I can add more elements. So I could add an image if I want to. example, here's a bird. Listen to the value. Hang on. I can say listen to the birds. And I can do that at 8.5. Can give them some feedback. Can give them some help, and then that's it. That's all you have to do with the data. I can change the order of the elements if it's important, although because this is a number line, that doesn't matter what order the elements are in, but I can move them up and down if I want to. And then I can say finish editing and show a preview. So what happened today? So I have to go, when do I think this happened? I think this happened here. 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 Bear in mind, this is a very poor example because I'm making it up on the spot. I fully expect that you will have thought about this more than I have. And then I click tick, and it tells me what the problems are. So these 3 are correct, but I did not listen to the birds at the correct time. And then I say, great, you found the right solution. Okay. That was my preview. If I like it, I can save it, but I'm not going to save it because it's a random one that I'm showing you right now. Also have the option of making it full screen with this teeny tiny weeny little red button. If I do that, it's full screen now, which hopefully you can see. That helps sometimes with some of the options. So something like this might work quite well on a phone, but I'll just show you one. I'll just show you one in a second that I made yesterday that hopefully where are my things, my stuff. Yes, so I made this one yesterday. This is the one, or a couple of days ago. This is the one that you'll see in the blog post. So I wanted to make a teacher training thing about the difference between praise and supportive feedback. The type of app, this is called a matching matrix. So this means that the students have to find pairs, like which praise thing corresponds with which supportive feedback thing. Now you'll notice that some of them, I've put too much text in there, but if I make it full screen, then it's visible. Although I didn't go back and edit the ones that were still too long. So for example, I might say that this is here, and this is supportive feedback, and this is supportive feedback. Oh, and this is the praise thing that matches up with it. Or this is the praise thing that matches up with it. So this is the interface. This is what the students are trying to do here in the matching matrix. And then I can press tick, and it will confirm that all of those answers are correct, but obviously I still need to finish the rest of the answers. So this is a matching matrix, and on a phone, this is tiny, but I think on a tablet or on a computer, I think it would be fine. So it's not a perfect tool, but I do think that there are options. I think there are things that you can do with it that are quite nice and quite useful. And I think not so many people know about this tool. Just to go back to learning apps in general. Sorry, I did the wrong thing. I'll just show you some of the other things that you, oh, sorry. Over enthusiastic, stop sharing that. Yeah, so some of the other kinds of apps that you could create. You've got matching pairs on images. So I think, did it show me? Oh, it showed me a teddy bear one yesterday that was really nice with prepositions. I wonder if that's still at the top somewhere. Oh, I don't think it is. Here you go, Project 2, 4th edition, Unit 5A. I thought I recognised those pictures. I used to teach from Project 2. So the students can click on any one and they see all of the options and they have to choose the right thing. And choose the right thing, okay? So when they see it, they can see that the ones they've chosen are greyed out. It's not hugely different, but they can see that the ones that they've chosen are a slightly different colour. And then when they're ready, they can tick, and they can see which ones they've got right, and they've got red circles for all the ones that they've got wrong that they still need to do. So again, that's a nice practice activity for the students, especially if you're working online. That was called the matching pairs on images. The closed text, again, that sounds, like what a closed text is. It's interesting to see how you can do it on here. So you can have like short lists of options. So here, for example, they have to pick 1 from 3, and it's a different 3 in each box. But then in this one, this is a different close, and they have the options up here and they have to write them at the bottom. Sorry, I didn't realize the examples would change each day. I had one yesterday. Sorry, if I'd realized the examples would change, I would have saved the examples I was looking at yesterday. Here you have the option after each word. And the one that I was trying to find was a daily routine one where all of the options were in a single list, but it was like a drop-down list, so the students can type or they can choose. And again, you could make that, but the students could make it as well. Like, if you can show them how, I don't think it's so difficult for them to be able to make it themselves. So you've got various different kinds of game or puzzle that you can create on there for the students, or that the students can create for each other. Let me just give you the link. Just realized I didn't give you the link for that one. So that is learning apps. Has anybody got any questions about learning apps? Right, now let's get to the last one. I would imagine a lot of you have already seen Quizlet, but hopefully at least some of you haven't. So Quizlet is my all-time favorite website, like for working with students. I have used it with every level, from absolute beginners right up to teacher training, post proficiency. I use it in the face-to-face classroom, in the online classroom. I set it as self-study. It's the only website I pay for because I think it's amazing and I want them to keep making it. You don't have to pay for it. It's available completely free. It's an app. It's a website. The students do not need a login to be able to use the website, although sometimes on their phones particularly, it can be a bit obnoxious about saying, don't forget to sign in, don't forget to sign in. As far as I know, they don't need to sign in. I don't think they've changed that, but it is about 6 months since I've used it with students, because I haven't had students for that long. Generally, Quizlet is amazing. Hopefully I'm showing you new things or things you might not have realized before. So let me show you some Delta pronunciation connected speech, because that's one of the things that's on my homepage. That's how I roll. Just to show you how it actually works. Oh, this is new. They tell you how many people have studied it in the last day. When you look at a Quizlet set, you can see flashcards as the default. So I can see this and I can turn it over and see the definition. I can use the mouse, or I can use my arrows on my keyboard to go through them. And I can press space to turn them over. So I don't have to use the mouse. And you can see here, for example, I have highlighting. So highlighting, I believe, is a premium feature. But I can create a set just like this with no premium payment at all. So I can see all the flashcards and test myself. So far, so good. Underneath, I can see the list of all of the terms. I can choose any terms I like and star them, should I so desire. These are the ones that I don't know very well. So I've got little stars next to them. And now I can come back up here. As you can see, I've got 8 out of 15 flashcards. Sorry, I've got 15 flashcards and this is number 8. But I can also say I just want to see the starred ones. So now I've just got these stars. Sorry, I've still got all of them at the top, but I can now choose to study only the starred ones, or I can go all and I can study all of them. I can also click on any of them
Intrusion.
and hear what it is.
Contraction. Use of short and form studies of
Sorry, I will just mute the computer so that hopefully you can't hear that anymore. If it's my set, I can edit from here as well. If it's not your set, you can't edit it. And then I have lots of games that I can play with it. So I can learn. Oh, sorry, they've changed it. So we have a study path. This is a whole new thing. So first off, I can see the terms and I select I can see the definition and I select the correct term. I do that once for every definition, but within that, once I've selected the correct term, the next time I see that definition, I'll have to type it, but it'll start giving me some of the typing before I've done all of the matching. If you get it right, it then disappears and it doesn't test you on that anymore. If you get it wrong, it keeps testing you on that, so that ultimately you're just being tested on the ones that you don't know. So that's the learn mode. The write one is similar, but you're only writing. You don't have that matching stage first. The spell mode, you do that. You type what you hear. And if I get it wrong,
assimilation.
I don't know if you could see that it was actually spelling it out for you. It spells it out and it shows you how to spell it correctly. There are 2 little circles at the side here. When I get it right once, one of these circles fills in. When I get it right a second time, the second circle fills in and it no longer shows it to me. Progress is what percentage of them have got 2 circles, 1 circle or 2 circle, and it does it in rounds of 7. So you'll see 7 words and then a summary and then another 7 and then a summary. And you can stop at any point. Test is a test. But what is nice about this is that as a teacher, I have the option of printing a test if I want to. So you can make a test automatically from here. And I can change the settings. So I can say what kinds of question I want to have, whether I want to have images or not, how many questions I want to include. I can have some error checking. If it's online, obviously if it's printed, it's a bit different. But whatever options you put in here, when you click create a new test, it will change the print part of it. Again, I'll let you play around with it afterwards. So that's the test. Match is my favourite, and match is normally where I start the students off when I first use Quizlet. I just give them the direct match link and I just let them play with it. And I think everybody loves match, but the challenge is getting them to actually stop playing it. Like the thing with Quizlet, getting 10 to 12-year-olds say, can we revise? Can we do that vocabulary again? Quizlet does that. So match on the computer, you'll click and drag. That is not correct. And they will disappear. I'm not reading these, I'm just moving them on top of it. They disappear. If you're on a phone, the link that you need should say micro match. And that looks like this. So it's like arranged in squares, in boxes. So you can give students those links directly. You can give them match or micro match. Sorry, I'm just showing you this very quickly so that I can actually show you how to make the games in a minute. And the last game, which is available to students to play, is called Gravity. And this is normally the hardest one, so I give them this one at the end. But it's also the one that looks the most fun. So I will see, oh no, I don't want it that way round. I want to change my settings. I want to answer with a term, not a definition. So I'm not going to write out a whole definition. So I can see the term and I can then type it and press enter and it will disappear. But if I get it wrong or if it disappears, I just let it come off the bottom. Then it will appear in the middle of the screen and I have to copy the correct term. It stops completely until I've copied the correct term. So that is Gravity. Because I've got it wrong, that one will come up later on as a red asteroid. And if I get it wrong again, then the game ends. So Gravity is quite hard, but some students really like it. And the last one, which I could show you now, but we probably don't have time, is the live function. And live can be played as individuals, it can be played as teams, and there is actually a new function which is called checkpoints, which is actually an assessment thing. So I've never used checkpoint with the students. It's in beta, so I have it because I am a beta tester, I'm a beta user. But that will be rolled out quite soon, and that is formative assessment in the Quizlet Live mold. So students just need to type in a code like you do with Kahoot, for example, to be able to join the game. And my students were addicted to Quizlet Live, like they loved it. We played 5 minutes of it every lesson, and that meant that they were revising all the old vocabulary we did, because I created, one of the reasons I pay is because then you can have unlimited classes. I created Quizlet sets with for every bit of vocabulary that we did in our Project One book. If you want to use my Quizlet sets, you can do quizlet.com/member/Sandy Millin, I think. No, sorry. Quizlet.com/Sandy Millin. Yes, and then you can see my whole library. So you can see all of my classes with lots of different books, lots of different levels. There's something for Salta, there's something for Delta. There are lots of different sets in there of differing sizes. So that's if you want to find mine. If you want to create your own, you have two options. You can create a set completely from scratch, or you can find a set that you like and decide that you want to edit it. So when you look at a Quizlet set, the little pencil button underneath that says edit. Just to show you, you also have options like print, copy and customize. Sorry, that's what you need. Edit is for me because it's my set. You want the little like copy, customize button. So when I click on this, it will create a new study set based on the old one, and I can do whatever I want to it and it becomes my set. So I can add some pictures like this, for example. If you don't pay, you will get just the generic images. Because I pay, then I have the option of uploading my own image. But for example, you can add images to it like this. I can change the order of them. I can add a new term. Like so. You can change the language of them. So I can tell them that the left-hand side is Polish. That means that when it's automatically read out, it will be read out by a Polish computer. which means it will sound very bizarre. So this is why you're choosing the language, because then it knows how to read, basically you're choosing which computer is going to read it out, what kind of voice is going to read it out. You can delete terms like so. You have to have a minimum of 2 terms to make a set, to create a Quizlet set. You can import lists from Word or Excel or Google Docs. You can change the visibility. So I can say that it's visible to everyone or people with a password. I can change who can edit it. I can flip the terms and the definitions if I've accidentally put them the wrong way around. So I can do that. And it just flips the terms and the definitions. And I have keyboard shortcuts as well, which can help. I think bold, italic, and underline, I think, again, is only premium, but I'm not sure. I've had premium for quite a number of years now, so I can't remember. As a premium user, I can also add my own voice recordings as well. I don't have to rely on the computer, but that's an option for you if you want it. I think it's very affordable as well. I think it's like $26 a year. I can't remember what it is. It's a direct debit and it goes out in May or June, so it's a little while before I have to pay it again. But for the amount that I use it, I think it's worth me paying for it, but you do not have to pay for it. It is completely free. And then when you finish, you click create, and then all of those games are there. That was a very lightning quick tour because I'm running out of time. But as I say, the link is available there's like a full guide to it on my blog. So I mentioned that I would give you the link to my blog.
I've just posted it again in the chat.
Thank you very much. Yeah, and just Lizzie also mentioned my books before, so if you're interested in those, they are here. You can buy 2 of them as paper copies, and you can buy all 3 of them as ebooks. That's my cheeky little advert at the end.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, everybody.